Hello and welcome back to the AAT'S podcast, episode number 14, with myself, Adi of Antibiotics.
And me, Aiden.
Aiden who?
Riley. I think that's my second name, Riley, isn't it?
I don't know.
Aiden Riley.
There you go.
Is that it?
He looks familiar. How are you, Aiden? Good afternoon.
I'm not bad. How are you, Ed?
I'm good, brother.
Good.
Now, today's movie we're going to be mentioning, it's another standalone. Because the interesting thing about this movie was the fact that what actually happened behind the scenes and how it got made. And because of the fact that this actor in this movie, not only was his first ever movie, but this was actually the movie that skyrocketed him to stardom. And how he got the part was absolutely interesting as well. The movie's about a tough police officer who basically is knowing the fact that there is corruption happening in his city of Chicago. And he's a very well-trained martial artist, and he was in the special forces in the Vietnam War as well, and he has family in the mafia. The character name was Nico Tascani. Pretty cool name though, wasn't it?
It was a very cool name.
And
very striking.
It was not as striking as the actor who portrayed him, and that is Mr. Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I think we all know him.
A legend for his ponytail and his tall height and his Aikido skills. So you watched the movie last night, didn't you, Aiden?
I did.
And what did you think of it?
Yeah, it was alright, I suppose. For me, don't get me wrong, I mean, it was really good for his first film.
Oh yeah,
really
definitely.
Good. And when I look at these films, it is what it is. I'm not going to critique it, how it's, it wasn't an extremely ambitious film.
Yeah.
I was confused a few times. But again, it is what it is, isn't it? It's a Steven Seagal film. It does what it says on the tin. But I
haven't heard that phrase in a very long time either.
I love the action scenes. I love the fight scenes. I love how he kicks ass. I love how he just goes around taking names
and breaks bones all along the way.
And he doesn't care what he says to people. He doesn't care what he says to the hierarchy in the police force or the CIA or the FBI.
No,
he just says how it is, and he gets the job done.
I love the tagline on that movie where it said. Because it had a very long tagline. Now, did you know in England it's actually called Nico, but in America the actual title was called Above the Law.
So here it was called Nico.
Here it's called Nico, because for so many years I kept calling it Nico, but I knew all of a sudden, I wanted to. It must sound a lot cooler than that, because Seagal's first few movies, they were all like 3-word titles. You had Above the Law, you had Hard to Kill, Out for Justice, Marked for Death, On Deadly Ground, Under Siege, which is a great movie. You have to see that movie. That's actually one of his best movies, Under Siege. It's like Die Hard, but on a battleship. Yeah.
Is that, I've heard of this film. Is that where it says no one beats me in the kitchen?
That's number 2, but that's set on a train. It was a cool line though, you got to admit. It was a pretty cool line, wasn't it?
Well, with these films, right, you always need a quote.
You do.
Don't you? Like a cheesy line. Like with Arnold's films, there's a lot of cheese. There's a lot of films like, need a lift?
Yeah, it's true.
Gonna give you a lift? It's just... all of these things that you would never say in the proper fight or anything.
No, you
like
wouldn't.
That. But
you absolutely...
that's what makes it funny, because you just think, oh man, really, would you say that? But I think they're like cringy stuff, don't they? You say
true.
things, you're like, what would you, why would you say that?
It's true though. It's true, and what was quite good of the fact that when the one thing I liked about this movie is how it kind of definitely showcased Seagal, not just because no one had ever seen anybody like this person before, did they?
No.
Because
he was one of a kind.
He was one of a kind, because if you look, who did you have before Seagal? Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You had Chuck Norris. You had Dolph Lundgren come in. But then again, I think in the early 90s, or maybe late 80s, early 90s, is when Dolph Lundgren started showcasing his martial arts skills. Because nobody knew, because before this movie came out, and Above the Law, which was released in 1988, which was which was basically, I think, the year right after Van Damme had released his first movie, Bloodsport.
What year was that?
That was in 87.
Okay.
And the good thing about that, and one thing I liked about this tagline of the movie was, he was a covert agent trained in Vietnam. He has a master 6-degree black belt in Aikido and family in the mafia. He's a cop with an attitude. And even when you look at him on the cover, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the cover of Above the Law. The cover looks cool. Even that pistol he carries, the 1911 Colt 45, that's actually one of his trademark pistols. If you watch any of the Seagal...
I'm actually looking at the poster.
Yeah. If you look at any of the Steven Seagal's movies, he's always carrying that specific type of gun. Even in the movie, even on the poster.
Actually,
yeah,
I can see them here.
But apparently in real life, he has quite a few in his collection. There was a guy called, Justin Lee Collins, when he did the show Bring Back the A-Team.
Mm-hmm.
He went to interview Steven Seagal, and he saw just the pistol lying there on the table, on the bedside table, which is kind of cool. But then again, it's Steven Seagal. You going to mess with this guy? No chance. So so the movie plot. So Nico, he's a police officer. He's an honest cop. He's got
brutal cop.
A very brutal cop. I mean,
says it how it is, cop.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing I liked about it, when he's trying to find his cousin, and there's that guy with cocaine in there, and he's banging his head on the table, going, "You want to get high? You want to get high? You want to get high?" That was a good scene. That was. And then he's broken the guy's nose. He's bleeding all over the place. But what he does in the bar downstairs. Before he goes upstairs.
That's when he clotheslines, and that's when I told you about that clothesline.
Yeah.
Where he grabs him and just...
Or the other guy, that guy who's a lot bigger than him, in that bodybuilder, he's just like elbowing him to the nose, and he's like, "Oh, I've broken the nose," and he's like, "Right, you just had your nose broken, and this guy's a lot half your size."
Another one I like as well, where he's chasing that guy down.
Yeah.
And...
a lot of people said that but he had some speed on him. I'll give him that.
That was after the bar, wasn't it? That was after
way after, way after.
And then he just chased him through the streets, and then he kicks his ass, doesn't he? Just
he does, yeah.
And then you see that big guy.
That
big guy goes, "Hey, what you messing with my friends, huh?" And Nico's like, "Look, man, leave me alone. I'm not in the mood." And the guy shoves him, and he goes right in his chest or right in
his stomach. He knocks the wind out.
Right in his esophagus. His the windpipe, right?
Yeah, it knocks the wind right out of him.
And then he walks past those two guys going, "Hi, how you doing?" He's like, "Hey, good punch, man. Good punch. Hey, man." That's it.
Well, then again, he just beat up two guys by himself. Of course, he's not going to...
no one's going to mess with him after that.
So because like I mentioned beforehand, we had never seen this martial art before, did we?
No.
Traditionally, what did we see a lot on TV?
There was a lot of Bruce Lee style films, Jeet Kune Do, kickboxing,
with Van Damme,
boxing.
Yeah.
You've seen all of these, global popular martial arts and self-defense techniques, but no one's ever seen this type of self-defense before. It's again, you had all the mainstream styles.
You did.
Like a lot of Eastern, like I said, kickboxing was a huge
because
deal.
If you look at Van Damme in the movies, such as he did a few movies before he hit it big with Bloodsport. He did a few movies called No Retreat, No Surrender. It's actually one of Scott Adkins' favourite movies as well. And he demonstrated a lot of his kickboxing in that. And because he said he was a karate champion for many years, and then you had Chuck Norris, who was he is a legit martial artist. He is.
He is. You see that in The Way of the Dragon,
and you see that in all his other movies that he did after. Even before he went on to do the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger, and you see him.
Sounds so bad.
No, that's his name. In the movie, his name. So in the series,
Walker, Texas Ranger.
In the series, his name's Cordell Walker, and he's a Texas Ranger. So it's the name. Cordell Walker.
God, these names are just.
And then.
Would you name your kid that, Cordell?
Actually, I know somebody called Cordell. He's a really cool guy.
Okay.
He's really.
What about Nico Tascani? Would you name your child?
If my surname was Tascani, then I probably wouldn't do. But since it isn't, I don't have that privilege of doing that. Yeah. So, also, so before we get any started, I want to give as always, like we do with all our followers on Insta, I'd like to give a few special shout outs and everything. So, because we've had a few people just joining the universe this year.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you, welcome. So I met quite, like I say, people ask me, what do you do? I said, yeah, I'm a podcaster and everything. And like, they goes, we weren't expecting that. I said, well, then you expected the unexpected.
There you go. Always expects the unexpected.
Yeah. So I'd like to give a big shout out to Adam from my gym. Welcome, bro.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Cesar. Welcome back, bro.
Hello, Cesar.
This is the guy I told you about. This is Aiden.
Hi.
Also, Callum.
Hello, Callum.
Yeah,
Hope you're well.
He's a good guy. Reese from my gym. Reese is just, you can have such a great conversation with Reese.
I like people that can have good conversations with.
Yeah, and you can have a seriously good laugh with him as well.
And I like that as well.
Yeah, he'll have you crying and laughing, I'm telling you now. Emil, another guy from my gym as well.
Emil,
yeah, Emil.
I think I need one of them right now.
Yeah. Brendan.
Hello, Brendan.
Also, Brandon, another friend of mine.
Brendan and Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay, hello, Brandon.
Yeah. Awesome guys. Honestly, Eduardo, who's actually a friend of your biggest fan, Nairobi.
Oh, okay.
So
hello, my friend.
Two friends there. Yeah. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to. Definitely got to give a shout out to Nairobi for sure.
Of course. Hello, Nairobi.
Biggest fan.
And I love the video, by the way. Hello, buddy. Thank you for that.
Also, Emily. I'd like to give her a
hello, Emily.
Yeah.
Hope you're well.
Ben.
Hi, Ben. Ben, just Ben, not Benjamin.
No, it's Ben. It's Ben. Jacob.
Jacob.
No, it's a different. Well, we can give a shout out to our bro Jacob and Will, Manthus, everybody.
Will, the usual guys.
Wanderers. Yeah. Also, Matty. I'd like to give him a shout out.
Hello, Matty.
Yeah. And also one guy from last night as well who I had the opportunity of meeting at the gym, and he goes, his exact words, he was training back. He goes, there's any exercises we can do, so you can do this for your lateral pull down, you can do that, you can do the one-arm pulls and everything like that. And bless him, and he goes, what do you do for a living? And I said, well, I'm a podcaster. That's how I dropped it. I said, I'm a podcaster. And he goes, I didn't expect you to say that. I said, well, you expect the unexpected. And that's to Roshan.
Hello, Roshan.
Yeah, really, really cool guy. And also I'd like to give a shout out to Harry from my gym.
Hello, Harry.
Yes, I think this is probably the biggest shout outs we've been giving to people. But you know, it's worth it. It's worth it's worth every bit because like we mentioned,
it's support, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like we say all the time, isn't it? It's without these guys, this never would have happened.
No,
it never would have happened.
So keep watching us, keep supporting us, and we will do the same thing for you.
Definitely.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Orestes from the gym as well. He's from Orestes. Yeah, he's from Greece. And
that's a really cool name.
See, there you go. I mentioned it to you before, bro. This is it. This is the shout out.
It's a really cool name.
Awesome guy. I started just training with them. I started training with him and a couple of other boys there as well.
We forgot another person, Nicole.
Nicole, yes. Our sister, Nicole.
Hello. Yeah. She is our sister, actually. She's amazing.
Sister from another mister.
Sister from...
He's brother from another mother. That's sister from another
mister.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great one.
Yeah, the best. Thanks for everything, sis. Appreciate that. So, moving into the background of how Seagal got into martial arts, because it's actually one of the most interesting stories I had ever heard. Because it's like, for example, you know how you hear an actor, how he got into acting, how a presenter got into presenting, but how Seagal got into martial arts was absolutely amazing. One day his father took him to a baseball game, and during halftime, there was a little Japanese man who came, Japanese or Okinawan man who came onto the field, and he put all these mats everywhere, and he started throwing these people around like they were made out of paper. And that's how he caught the martial arts bug there and then. And he said to his father, Daddy,
right place at the right time.
Right place at the right time. He goes, Daddy, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Well, we're going to be doing jiu-jitsu soon, aren't we?
Oh yeah, can't wait. We'll finish this on the mat.
Yes.
Back in the days.
Back in the days.
We're going to be doing jiu-jitsu. We're going to refer a lot of things to jiu-jitsu.
It's going to be an awesome time, isn't it?
Doing jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yes. jiu-jitsu. Sorry, so say it one more
Sorry,
time.
we're going through a Jocko phase. Right, okay.
Well, he's an inspiration.
He's great.
And without him, I don't think me and you would be here today.
No, I think it's just he's just got one of those just great motivational,
He's unique,
inspiring personas, hasn't he?
Yeah,
just
both of them, him and Echo Charles.
Yeah, but morely Jocko, isn't it? Because it's just. I mean, I do love Echo. I think he's great. Don't get me wrong.
He is definitely.
But Jocko, man, he's like
a beast. He's
yes.
a beast, definitely. So Seagal saw that the Aikido on the field, in a baseball field, and then he goes, okay, I want to learn martial arts for the rest of my life. And by the time he was 17, he managed to graduate high school quite quick, and he went off to Japan, and he lived there for quite a long time. And in Japan is where he started learning Aikido.
So he went there especially to learn Aikido.
He went there to learn Aikido. And nobody had ever seen anybody like him there as well, because he overpowered a lot of people.
He's a tall white guy.
Yeah.
They don't see people like that. Not in those days.
Yeah. And
they didn't see people like that.
That's true. I mean, to be honest with you, when I watched an interview with him and I was doing the research, and like they asked him as well, we know your background's mainly in Aikido. This was Scott Adkins who interviewed him. And without a doubt, this is one of the best interviews of Seagal's I had ever seen. Without a doubt. Or if not, I would call it the best interview of his I had ever seen. And he goes...
Did he open up?
He opened up big time. And the good thing about it was that he mentioned the fact that the first year he was learning how to do the punches properly like this, Aiden. So like the sensei said to him, for one whole year you're going to do nothing but learn how to punch this. I think it's called a makiwara, something like. You know you have in Wing Chun, you have the mokjon, what Bruce Lee would train on. Like he would block things.
It's the blocking first, isn't it?
He would learn how to do that first.
It's the basics first.
Yeah. So he was learning that. He goes, we need to see how you can develop your power, develop the skill, develop the strength, and then we're going to teach you everything else.
Did he learned breath technique as well?
Breathing technique.
Because, I know this is way different, but in yoga, to go further into a pose, you have to learn how to breathe into it.
Of course you do, yeah.
So I guess when it comes to self-defense, if you get the breathing right, you get the striking right, and you get the power behind the striking right.
Yeah,
it's like when you're lifting weights.
Yeah.
You can't lift the weight or do a pull-up without the breath.
No.
You have to have good breathing technique because you need all the support available to you to actually get it done, right?
Yeah, you do.
So I guess, and you need oxygen to go a long way. You can't say, I'm never going to breathe.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to lift the 50 kg without breathing. It's not...
I can't. I mean, it's true. I mean, like, you have to develop you have to know the fundamentals. It's like when you learn to drive a car. You have to take all the theory, practice the lessons, and once you pass your test, then you can actually go out and learn by yourself.
Yep.
It's basic, that isn't it?
That is true.
You go back to basics.
Foundations.
Yeah.
And then you build from there.
Yeah, it's exactly you do. And so, what happened? And then, okay, so Seagal lived in Japan for so many years. He got married while he was over there.
Still lives there, doesn't he?
No, he moved to the US. Okay. And then what happened was they said that the dojo where he trained, he goes, every day it was common for bones to be broken. Because one guy would break his finger, one guy would break a nose, break a toe, break a rib, break a leg. It was common because they would be thrown around. Because you've seen the martial art of Aikido, not just in this, but I've actually done a bit of Aikido myself. And to be honest with you, it is as lethal as it looks on camera. I mean, we didn't learn I was hoping to learn the classic thing he does in the beginning of the movie. You know, when that guy's going to throw the front kick and he blocks it and he chops him down in half. And the guy just backs.
Or the clothesline.
That's what I'm referring to. That's what I was referring to. I wanted to learn that move there.
That's grotesque.
A long time ago when I interviewed the sensei of that dojo, and I asked him, he actually asked me, why do you want to learn Aikido? I said, because I grew up watching Steven Seagal movies. And he goes, okay, that's understandable. That's what he said, that's understandable. Because
you put Aikido
he did. He basically, I've got a good story to tell you about this. And so what happened was when Steven Seagal, when he learned Aikido there, and like people ridiculed him a lot because, oh, you know, you're a tall white guy, you
should be doing something else.
Leave this place. You're not wanted.
So,
but he didn't let that affect him. He just went through and did what he had to do.
I've got a question.
Yes.
So what did they actually? Because normally when people try and discourage somebody from doing something, they normally put something else in place of what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Did they actually say what he should be doing? Like,
I think in a way
you shouldn't be doing this. You should be doing this.
Yeah.
What did they actually?
He just didn't bother. He just carried on doing what he had to do.
So they didn't encourage him to do something else. They just said, no, you don't. You shouldn't do this. Because you know when you get, I don't know, sometimes you get somebody that looks like a basketball player that's playing soccer, or in British terms, football.
Football,
right? You think you should be playing basketball. You're too tall to be playing this sport.
Yeah.
But they end up
becoming the best player.
And you think, oh no, mate, we actually were really wrong about you. You look at a fighting style like this. Sorry, not fighting style. Self-defense. Martial arts style like this, and you think, you know, you look at when I watched it, he was the tallest one there.
He was 6'4".
Yeah, so you saw a lot of shorter people, with a lot of compact body sizes, but he was tall and kind of gangly, wasn't he?
Well, very lean, I would say. I think Seagal, when you first met him saw him for the very first time.
How old was he when he was in?
Believe it or not, he was actually 36 or 37 when he did his first ever movie. And check this out. Not only was this his first film debut, but he co-wrote and co-produced it.
He did.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, he was one of the production. Well, he was, you know, mature guy.
He's very. I think in a way, Seagal is very, very. He's very intelligent. Oh, we just had a big shout out from brother Francisco. He just messaged us saying, "Hey guys, thank you both for the greeting. Sending my best wishes to you too." Thanks, brother. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Gracias, hermano.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, if you like I said when I was watching it, there was a lot of shorter men.
Yeah, there was.
But he had the upper hand because he was taller.
Yeah, he's actually 6'4" in real life, Steven Seagal.
But if you look at other self-defense or other martial arts, the shorter you are, the more groundwork you need.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, if you can take a taller person down, it doesn't matter about the height.
No, it doesn't.
So, but again,
even a bigger person, you could take them down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, for example, you pit a jiu-jitsu expert against a bodybuilder.
Oh, jiu-jitsu,
he'll win. The jiu-jitsu expert's going to win.
I watched a video of this young lad was sitting on a bench. This was a great video on YouTube. He was sitting on a bench with his mates, and this bully was just really, really, you know, digging in and he was asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And he started on the middle fella, this younger dude.
Yeah.
And the guy went to push him, and the younger dude was just like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the guy just grabbed him round the hips and just threw him to the floor. And you think,
I knocked the wind out of you, that one.
Yeah, but it was awesome because he picked him up.
Yeah.
Right, swept his leg and just took him down. You're like, that is jiu-jitsu all along. You can tell.
Yeah.
And then he just grabbed him and the guy was just like that on the floor. You're thinking, you better give up, mate, because
yeah, exactly. You have to give up. You have to give up. I mean, like, yeah, it's like one thing I loved about this movie was, did you know in the opening sequence, all those baby pictures of Nico were real life pictures of Steven Seagal?
I didn't know. Whoa,
yeah. Oh yes, got a reaction.
Yeah.
Yes. Hang on. Point one to Addy.
Yeah, I thought you was actually going to join.
No, I can't do this. It took me ages to design all this. I have to destroy it in less than a minute. No thanks. And yeah, so they were real life pictures, and then. Did you know down the line, Seagal became one of the first foreigners to teach Aikido in Japan?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised because
there's like reaction there.
Yeah, so you might put a mark on the wall as well, why don't you?
Just imagine.
Yeah, there you go. So one all, next one wins. Okay, and yeah, so he went back to the US.
I've got. Yes,
please go
before we carry on. I've got one. Did you know the sword fighting sequence was staged using Steven Seagal's actual own martial arts students.
Yeah.
You actually knew that?
Okay.
Oh, okay, fair
But
enough.
no, but still, I appreciate you for doing the research. But
All right, fair enough. No much.
And not only that, not only that, he actually said out of his first 5 movies, Nico Tascani was his favourite role to play.
I can see why he would think that.
Because it showcased him.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all the... Now, I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Steven Seagal films. I've seen a few.
Yeah.
But this was years back. He actually looks like he's playing 80% of himself.
Yeah. You just got the reaction, yes. You're right.
You
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you there, bro.
It's like, out of all the characters, he plays a lot of similar characters, but out of all the characters, it does look like he enjoys this. He loves playing this character. I know it's his first character, and I know he just can't believe this is his life now. Wow, I can't believe I'm a professional actor. But you can see the smiles. You know when he smiles a lot?
He does, yeah. But he's very... But when you get on the wrong end of him...
Yeah, no, that's when you're in trouble. That's when he's going to break your neck, or like he did. Oh, you know when he breaks the guy's neck?
And he snaps it backwards. Oh, that was a cool neck break. That was probably one of the best neck breaks I had ever seen in a movie. Because everyone sometimes just breaks it like that, or breaks it like...
Breaks it like...
Like, he's wrestling him. And then it's like... Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. Because you see, I saw Van Damme do a cool neck break in one movie, in the movie Double Impact.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, you have to watch it.
Oh, that'll be another one of the
That's not one, but double the Van Damage. And by that, I mean...
Van Damage.
That's what it's called.
Van Damage.
Double the Van Damage. Because he plays twin brothers in that movie. And it's quite interesting there. But we have to review that movie, Double Impact.
Oh, yeah,
There's a cool scene in that where he breaks a guy's neck. He just creeps up behind him and just snaps the guy's neck backwards, and that's it. Done. But Seagal doing that was just next level stuff.
If anyone used to watch wrestling, there was a wrestler called Sting.
Yeah, I remember Sting.
And he did the Scorpion Death Drop. And basically you'd be facing upwards like this. And while she was in the guy's arm position like this, and he would drop you back. That's how he broke the guy's neck, wasn't it? But he obviously didn't fall to the floor.
Yeah.
It was just, when I saw that, I just went, oh. But when I saw him get hold of people, I'm like, you're in trouble now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's done you.
Exactly.
Just run off, run away.
Yeah, that's true.
But especially when he was in the bar, when he walks up to that guy, I thought the guy was going to run away. I'm like, I suggest you get up and leave. But the guy just went to hit him. You think, oh, what are you doing?
And not only that, you know the scene where that guy pulls the gun on him?
Yeah,
then he, out of nowhere, he just takes the gun and throws... That's actually one of his own students.
Yeah, they're all off, aren't they?
Yeah, they were.
But is that when he did the clothesline?
No, that was in the shop.
Yeah, that was painful.
But like I said, you have to be very well trained, and that floor better be extremely padded when you get hit to the ground, because if not, you will... If you don't break... Seagal once said in an interview, he goes, if you don't break your neck from the clothesline, you're going to break it when you hit the ground.
I actually felt sorry for the shop owner in that.
Yeah, he's like,
because he was like, please.
Not here.
Not here. Get out, just get out of the shop. And then he spears the guy through the bloody window. You're like, did you have to do that?
And then he runs for it.
Yeah, and you're like, who's going to pay for my shop?
Yeah, exactly. I felt sorry for that guy.
And the police turned up and he's like,
I'm out of here.
Come on, look at this.
Yeah,
look at this one to my shop.
Exactly, yeah.
Felt sorry for
and
him.
also, did you know not only is Seagal trained very well in Aikido, he also holds black belts in karate, judo, and kendo.
That actually shows, doesn't it?
The sword fighting.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't throw that many kicks in this movie, does he?
No.
Compared to someone like Van Damme, who's known for his kicks. Chuck Norris is known for his kicks. Dolph Lundgren's known for it. Bruce Lee was known for it.
Oh yeah, Bruce Lee was.
Jackie Chan was known for adding comedy to martial arts. I mean, like, I can remember how sometimes those fights looked so fast. About the time I told you about the fight I witnessed once, that looked like...
The fast forward fighting, yeah.
Shall we tell everybody the story?
Go on if you want to.
So, a long time ago, I witnessed this fight, And I was walking into a room and these two lads were having this fist fight. And I told Aidan and a few other friends the story. And I'm not exaggerating. When I walked into the room, it looked like somebody was actually fast forwarding this entire fight because it had that much speed going through it. It was like one person here, one person there, colliding, and this was the fight. And it was all over.
And I actually put a bit of extra illustration on that, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was like a fight from Tom and Jerry, where you see all the fight from one of the Looney Tunes cartoons.
And there's smoke everywhere.
There's smoke and dust everywhere, and one of the characters tries to get out of the ball of smoke, and then a big hand comes out and grabs him back into it. It's like...
It definitely did look like that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely did look like that.
Especially when it's Tom and Jerry, when he always got, when there was that big dog. In
Spike.
Yeah, Spike. And he had that puppy. He had that puppy. He had his kid with him. And, you always see Tom always got beaten by Spike.
Really it was just so funny.
Oh, I love those cartoons.
Yeah. So going back to it, have you noticed one thing different about Aikido compared to something like karate or Taekwondo?
It's calmer.
It's calm.
And it's a lot more less attacking.
And it's effective.
Yes.
It's extreme. I'm not saying that Taekwondo and karate is not effective, because remember,
they're more aggressive than Aikido.
Because there's a lot of kicks involved. Whereas...
it's more arm usage, right?
Yeah, because it's using the opponent's strength against them.
Yeah, it's using their momentum against them.
Yeah, it's true.
It's more countering, isn't it?
It is. It's more counter. It's actually taught to a lot of like police forces and everything. Do you know in real life Steven Seagal actually trains? He's a reserve sheriff, and basically.
God, yo, imagine him having him as your sheriff.
And so basically, like I said, Aikido is different compared to everybody else who uses that, because it's built around using opponents' strength and body weight against them. It employs a lot of locks, chokes, and holds that could incapacitate them.
That's why it will be so good against taller and weightier people.
Yeah.
Because if you use their weight and momentum against them, no way in hell will they be able to do anything against you.
No, they wouldn't.
Because the bigger you are, the more you're your own worst enemy, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Just imagine using a 15-stone man's momentum against themselves.
Yeah,
you've won that fight all along.
You have, because if you look at it, the Aikido expert's extremely smart. One thing I learned when I did Aikido was psychology. They train you in psychology to use that when you're in an altercation.
Yeah, if you know psychology, you can use those people against themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how to wind them up. You know how to play mind games.
Yeah, exactly. So you can.
You know what buttons to press, right?
Oh, please. Yeah, that is true. You get a lot of that. You learn that stuff, like how to use it, how not to beat yourself down, how to get into the moves and everything like that. But yeah, and it's like, if you look at it, jiu-jitsu is pretty much the same thing.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a psychology of martial arts. Same with Aikido. I think so is same as judo, because they're all based on grappling compared to karate. Karate, yeah, you learn a little bit of psychology involved. To like,
it's more attacking though.
Yeah, to like have good mental strength.
But if you know self-defense, I mean, if you know defense work,
yeah,
like if you look at somebody, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, he's very intelligent.
Great boxer, intelligent, confident, and he knows. Man, I've watched a few of his fights. Not a lot, but I've watched a few, and the few that I did watch, that man knows psychology.
He does.
He knows, and you could see the anger, the attacker, how angry they were getting because they couldn't hit him in the vital areas to get the points. And you think, he's going to get hurt. And the other guy got hurt, obviously. You think, oh, he's gonna get done soon. He's just biding his time.
Muhammad Ali was just the same way. He could beat somebody without even having to set foot in the ring with them, because he was just that intelligent. Yeah.
Mind games. If you can get in somebody else's head and control the way they're thinking and just decapitate their confidence.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've got you now. You can't hit me. So, or another thing about boxing is if they can take their hardest punch, where else are they going to go?
Exactly.
It's like when you watch Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder hit Tyson Fury so hard, Tyson Fury still got up, and you think, oh my gosh, Deontay Wilder's done. he's done.
He's done. Yeah.
And then he got knocked out.
He was. Going back to Above the Law, or how would you like to call it, Nico or Above the Law?
Above the Law. I don't like it. Nico is just. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the film.
Yeah.
But Above the Law, I think that's what it
should be called.
They say that in the actual film,
yeah,
don't they?
right at the end.
Yeah, no one's above the law.
Yeah.
And Steven Seagal, Nico actually says that.
You guys think you're above the law, you ain't above mine. So that's my Seagal impression.
It was actually really good.
Oh, thanks. You're just saying that.
No.
If you don't, because I'll end up using my Aikido on you.
What I love, you know what I love about his voice as well?
He's quiet and calm.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound very threatening.
You don't know that he's angry.
That is true, yeah. It's like, compare Seagal's voice compared to somebody like...
Sylvester.
Yeah, like Stallone. Because obviously Stallone had that...
angry, right?
Because Stallone had that speech impediment, didn't he? Well, not a speech impediment. He had... Yeah. So, like, when Stallone played Cobra, you could tell he was an angry cop because of his voice. Whereas Nico, on the other hand, he's cool and calm. And people threaten him. He's like, all right, you talk like that to me. And then he just picks up guys and throws them around there. It's like, don't judge him. He made look like a tall, lean, slim figure. Yeah. But if you get on the wrong end of this guy, he's going to destroy you.
He's walking up to you with his calm manner.
And the suit and the jeans.
You like that. But is he going to come and shake my hand, or is he going to come and...
break it off and use it to hit me with?
Crap out of me. What do I do here? And then he just suddenly gets hold of you and just, that's it, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly everything turns dark and you wake up in the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Just run away, just get out of there.
No, that is true.
It's pointless.
Exactly. So how Seagal got into movies is really interesting. Because you know how a lot of actors struggle for so many years. They go to this audition, that audition.
Not this guy.
He walked through there like it was nothing. So basically what happened was he had a student of his who was a Hollywood producer.
Oh, that's very lucky, isn't it?
Very lucky. And then he started seeing Seagal throw all these people around. Like, you see him in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
He's throwing people around like they're made out of nothing.
He's teaching, isn't he?
He's teaching, yeah. And what happens was, the producer went back to the studio and said, you got to come and see this guy. He goes, who is he? His name's Steven Seagal. Can you come and meet him? He goes, all right, we'll come and see him. He goes, all right, Steven, can you do a demonstration for what you do for people? Like, a demonstration of the class. He did the demonstration, and they said right away, we got to showcase this to the world. This Aikido is probably next level. And Seagal said that I want to show the world Aikido. People have seen all these other martial arts before. He respected them, but he said, you have to see this now. And it's true, Aikido, Above the Law, showcased Aikido. Seagal definitely put a stamp on the Aikido world.
He brought it to the mainstream.
He brought it to the mainstream, just like the other martial arts movie we're going to talk about. That's got some good, interesting stories as well. It's called The Perfect Weapon, starring Jeff Speakman.
Yeah. You
have to watch it. It's one of the best martial arts films I've ever seen.
I've got one for you.
Go for it.
All right, so where's it gone? All right. I've lost it. I've got a list of things here. Sure. Right, so in Russia,
yeah,
the bootleg translation became Nico.
Yeah.
That's fine. But for some reason, bootleggers titled the following Seagal's films as sequels.
Yeah.
So you've got Chicago Fire, you've got On the Margins of Law, and you've got Bloodmaster.
Yeah.
But these started calling it Nico 2, Nico 3, and Nico 4.
Right.
As if they were sequels to Nico, but really they're not sequels to Nico, they're just extra
you got my reaction,
films that Steven Seagal did.
Yeah.
But there's like, I think it's because it was kind of like a similar film.
In a way it was.
So Russians were like, this is Nico.
He's a big star in Russia.
Yeah. So like Nico 2. Well, it's not the Nico character.
It's not the Nico character. In the second movie he did literally right after this one, called Hard to Kill, he kind of dresses similar to Nico in that movie. In one scene he does. But that was the first time in Hard to Kill he showcased the ponytail. Because he made the ponytail look famous. And who do we know who also made a ponytail look famous? Come on.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No. Terry Silver in Karate Kid
Oh
3.
no! Yes, of course.
So you got a good reaction out of him. That's probably the best reaction I got out of Aiden. Yeah. So
in Greece,
yeah,
they called they called Nico or Above the Law Chicago Hard.
Because it's all filmed in the city of Chicago, isn't
Portugal, they called it Nico on the margins of the law, and in Taiwan they called it Bloodmaster.
Oh, that sounds a bit more. I don't know. No. Okay. So what happened was, going back to how he got in the movie business. He basically showcased his martial arts. He had all his students around. Again, how you see it as he's throwing people around like they're made out of pieces of paper, and then you see him basically running. Then the producer said, "Okay, you got to see this guy. He's next level." I'm sure he said that a lot about the other actors as well. You know, you got to see this, you got to see that. It's next level. It's next level.
Yeah, there's always a next level, isn't there?
It was, yeah. And then he chose that, and then they said, "Okay." They brought him into the office because we're impressed with what you do. We're going to give you 5 scripts, and you pick one. Read them all. Pick one that you like the most, and we will turn it into a movie and make you a star. And he goes, "Just like that." He goes, "Just like that."
I can see him saying that, just like that.
Just like that, yeah. And Seagal actually chose the movie from Warner Bros. They were actually saving this for Clint Eastwood. They were saving this movie for Clint Eastwood, but then they rewrote it to focus on Seagal's actual backstory. And many of
Clint Eastwood
in that, I think it would have probably just been another like Dirty Harry type movie.
I know, but man, they took.
He's met him a few times in real life. Yeah. Seagal's met.
They're kind of similar, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both like 6'4".
Yeah.
And they both always played like the tough guys. I mean, Eastwood's a legend in behind the camera as well.
91 now, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's still going strong. And did you know Seagal taught all the actors how to draw their guns fast and clean? Because have you noticed he draws his weapons quite quick, doesn't he, Nico?
Yeah.
And also, So originally this movie was going to be filmed on the waterfront in San Francisco, but then Seagal and the director Andrew Davis, they've actually worked together a couple of times, and they just changed the story and said, "Oh, we'll move it to Chicago instead, like the Windy City." And a few times Seagal has done that. And also, did you know he personally selected every weapon seen in that movie?
Just shows you how much of an expert he was.
He's a big time expert. He's trained sheriffs in real life. He's trained police forces in real life. Did you know he's actually even trained UFC fighters? What's his name? Anderson Silva.
Wow.
He's trained Anderson Silva. He's trained Lyoto Machida. And because they said, "All right, we know how to do jiu-jitsu, we know how to do Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling. We need to learn something else."
Aikido. And
then they brought in, who's the best guy we can bring in to teach Aikido? Steven Seagal. I've seen the training videos on YouTube, and trust me, what he put them guys through looked painful.
Especially when it's him.
I mean, he towers over most of them anyway.
Yeah, well, he's like I said, 6'4". He's a small guy, isn't he?
And here's a funny story. This is going to make you laugh. Actually, no, I'm going to say this for the behind the scenes talk, or should we just do it now? Do it now? All right, fine. So Steven Seagal and one of the other actors went on a ride along with real police Chicago detectives to prepare for the movie. And this guy Daniel Faldano, who played, the guy, that's Silvano, the one who Nico's choking.
Oh, the short dude with the mullet.
Yeah, well, everybody had a mullet back in those days.
Yeah.
They said, Faldano said, Seagal scared the criminals more than the cops did. I'm not surprised.
Look, it's Steven Seagal, come on.
And also, did you know, okay, so let's talk about characters, and so also, that's how he got into the movie business. So he signed a 5-picture deal to work with Warner Brothers, all his movies before, and that soared him to the top of Hollywood. And because if you look at all his other movies that came after, they're all produced by Warner Brothers. He had a big contract with them as well. And then, because like I say, a lot of people started seeing the martial art of Aikido, and they said, "Well, you got to come and watch this." That's why tickets were selling out for his movies so quick. They were like, because nobody had ever seen Aikido before.
Yeah, that was the one main ingredient for him to becoming popular, wasn't it?
Yeah, showcasing a martial art. There was another movie that came out a little bit later,
And his persona, his personality as well. You know, his arrogance, his you know, his attitude. You know,
he does have, in his first few movies, he did have kind of like a badass attitude. I like this one movie he did when, what was the movie? Yeah, the second one he did. That's actually one of my favourite, if not my all-time favourite Seagal movie, Hard to Kill. There's a cool scene in it where he's in a shopping, he's gone to get like a bottle of champagne for him and his wife. And these thugs come in the shop to rob him. And one of them's already killed the clerk. And he goes, "What are you grinning at?" He points the gun at Seagal's face. And it's a big, hefty shotgun. And he goes, "Well, there's 4 of you and you've only got 1 shot left in this gun." He goes, "Yeah." He knocks the gun out of the way and it goes off. And he just throws them all around like paper. And the one guy goes, "I'm going to cut your heart out." And he goes, "Well, come and cut my heart out." And he goes, "I get it. My weapon's bigger than yours. It's not fair." He throws the gun and he goes, "It's still not fair? I'll get down on my knees." Then he goes, "All right, come get some, come get some." And the guy's charging at him with the knife. He throws him over, grabs his foot and twists it the other way around. Yeah, he does.
Oh my God.
He goes, "You lose." He says that to him.
See, that's it. That's his humour, isn't it? That's how good it is, man. That's what I like about him in this film.
The other funny bit of that was when, and at the end, when he's found the thugs who, well, like I said, we have to review this movie. It's one of his best ever movies ever. Hard to Kill.
Okay.
And it's like I said, it's one of my all-time favourite Seagal movies. And also, did you know after this movie had opened, Aikido experienced a boom worldwide? Steven Seagal's dojo was struggling to get people in for classes. And right after this movie was sold out, the classes were sold out. Because everybody was rushing to the studio, the dojo, we want to learn Aikido now.
Especially from him.
Exactly. Because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And Steven Seagal, man, everyone was like, "Guess who my teacher is?" Like,
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
The guy from Above the Law.
Oh, we're coming down.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, because it's true though. It's like, for example, if you wanted to learn Aikido, he'd be the guy to go to. If you lived near there. If there was Kempo karate, the one I've mentioned beforehand, the next martial arts movie, well, one of the few martial arts movies we're going to talk about, I would like to learn from Jeff Speakman, who showcased that martial art in the movie Perfect Weapon. And that actually showcased that martial arts because nobody had ever seen it before. Everyone had seen this. When you look at it, that martial art is kind of similar to this. It's grappling. It's a street fight. It's not governed by rules. And he says in that as well. He goes, if you get into an altercation, go right to the groin, go right to the throat, end it as quick as possible.
Wow.
He says that, yeah. And I've got some good, interesting stories to tell you about that movie when we talk about it. So going into character, so that's how Seagal just got the movie. He co-wrote it, he starred in it, and he co-produced it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And that's his first film.
Yeah,
it's not a bad way to get into it, is it?
Especially when one of your students happens to be a Hollywood producer. And you just got to come and see this guy.
It's the next thing towards something like having your dad as a Hollywood star.
Yeah.
You go, okay, you're going to be. Do you want to be an actor, son? Yeah, sure. Okay.
But not many Hollywood sons get the same fame as their father.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, this is just how it is, isn't it? So, you only got this because of your dad.
Yeah, other than, for example, say Michael Douglas. He became famous in a way because of his father, Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, but Michael Douglas is awesome.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He's a great producer and everything.
It's not like you see some offspring of actors and actresses and you go, you're not that great.
No.
You're just there because of your parents. But then you see some, you're like, yeah, you got it.
You're building your own legacy, in other words.
Okay. That's true.
So yeah, and also, did you know before getting the part, Steven Seagal had to demonstrate his martial arts skills for the studio, and he physically dominated his students, and it terrified all the executives. But they didn't know it was staged. They did not know he was. Yes, I got another reaction out of it. Yeah, and they did not know it was staged.
So it was choreographed.
It was all planned.
That's smart. That is smart.
Let's say he's a smart guy.
He's smart.
Steven Seagal is a very smart guy.
That's brilliant.
And this film had another movie. It had quite a similarity to another movie that Andrew Davis, the director, did called Code of Silence, and that stars Chuck Norris. And both films stars martial artists, and they're about Chicago cops, corruption, and drug lords. Yeah. And like I say, his agent's name was Michael AAT'S, and he believed he could make anyone into a movie star, and he did.
Yeah, him.
Made Seagal into an overnight movie star. And because Andrew Davis got hired, is because Steven Seagal liked the movie Code of Silence with Chuck Norris very much. And he goes, that's it. Done. You're hired for this job.
God, it just shows you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you have to be in the right place at the right time.
And he was. Seagal was there instantly. So let's go into character details now. We'll start off with Nico Tascani, obviously himself. So,
okay,
what do you think of the character?
I like him.
Yeah, cool.
It's if you know somebody like that, not as an enemy, because you get your arse kicked as an enemy
all over the place.
Yeah, you
kicked and thrown all over.
Yeah, you're thrown through windows. You know, there's no point messing with a guy like him. But if you have him as a friend, not a bad guy to have you as your ally, is it?
Oh, definitely not.
You know,
definitely not.
He's yeah. You just think, well, okay, don't mess with me. Why? Well, I've got somebody who you wouldn't want to mess with either. His name's Nico. He's is it Nico Tascani? Yeah. Okay, I'll leave you alone.
Okay. Don't mess with this guy.
I love him. I think he's great.
Yeah, because now you understand why he was his favourite character to play in his first few movies.
Playing himself, isn't he?
He wasn't. Yeah, he was. I mean, it's like that scene where those guys are going to beat him up. One's got a sword, one's got a baseball bat. And he just throws them around like they're made out of nothing.
It's just throw them around like babies, you know. It's just not going to be. There's just no challenge here, is it? He just takes them all out, and you think, yeah. And I love the big guy when he says to him, "When you mess with my friends, huh?" And he shoves him. He's like, "Look, man, I'm not in the mood." He goes, Poof, and the guy's like, "Oh!"
Knocks the wind right out of him.
And you think, "Ow!" Yeah, okay.
Yeah, knocks the wind right out of him. And what was also funny was the other scene where, so that was a good scene, and the character Jax, who's played by Pam Grier, his partner.
Yeah, she's great in that.
She's proper like his best mate in that as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's amazing in that. I was shocked when she got shot. And then when she got shot by the shotgun.
Yeah.
And you think, oh man, you can't.
I thought she was killed.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I was like, oh my gosh, you've actually killed her off. And then when she was still alive, I was really happy that she was still alive. I was like,
exactly.
Thank you. I'm really pleased with that because obviously she's a great character in it, isn't she? I really liked that character.
Yeah, she was good. And did you know in the scene where Nico thinks she's been killed, and you go to and he goes to an apartment to have a look around. Again, they're all real life pictures of her, Pam Grier. Yeah, they used all the real life pictures in that movie.
Wow, she's done a lot. You saw a lot of things, but you saw a lot of achievements in those pictures, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. You did. And Luca, who was Nico's partner, the other guy in it, he goes, I hear they took your pistol away. And goes, yeah, here, take another one. He just hands him another gun right there and then. And I hate, the one character I really hated in that movie, that agent who's making his life a living hell.
Yeah.
What's Neely, Agent Neely. And when he gets him back, what was sad was, the guy's asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're disturbing him and his family. Yeah. And he got mad. He just goes mad. He goes, don't put your hands on me, MF and all that other stuff. And
you just think, don't you, like, you've come into this guy's house.
Yeah, he's got family in the mafia.
Family, his baby's there, his wife's there, and you just turn up and just think, yeah, I can just get this guy to do what I want. He's actually encountered this guy a few times. Yeah. He should know better that he's not going to do what you want.
No, you're not. And then he goes, you were ordered to back off this guy, and yet you're already harassing him. And then where he slams the badge on the table and goes, here, take it. And then when he gets him back, because he's finding out what he's doing illegally himself. And then he goes, all right, I'm going to treat you the same courtesy you've been treating me lately. I love that line. And then the other bit was also good. Was
that when we're at the beach?
Before the beach. I like the bit when he goes, you just jumped to number 4 of the most wanted list. He goes, I want to be number 1. I like that line. He goes, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
Which is a good move, which is a good scene. And then when he throws him, he goes, I'm going to give you a few minutes, run into that ocean, oh, before I empty this gun in your butt, he just runs there. He goes, jump! And he gets in the car. Jump, Neely!
3 more seconds, Neely! And he just goes, jumps in the boat. He's like,
jump, Neely! That was a good one. And one other thing I liked about that scene was, you know, when you had you had two villains at the same time, didn't you? You had Zargon, who was controlling everything, who wants to kill the senator.
Yes.
And then that chemical interrogation he's been doing, some lethal stuff.
That was.
And he does it to the priest.
Yes.
And then when he does it to Nico, I didn't think Nico would ever that happen to him. And then like he was pure evil. What he tried he made enemies with Nico right at the beginning of the movie, didn't he? He just says to him right there and then, he just goes, when he's trying to cut that guy's feet, and he goes, what the heck's the matter with you guys? You're barbarians. He goes, no, I'm leaving, I'm done with it. And then he just does the Aikido move on him right there.
He destroys quite a few, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And then his partner takes him away. It's like, look, you need to go, because if you don't go, you're going to get
killed. Yeah,
you'll get killed.
It was the partner who recruited him in the CIA, and then he rings him up a few years later and goes, you get your family somewhere safe. That's all I got to tell you.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Get your family somewhere safe. You stormed into something you shouldn't have got into in the first place. And then yes, you have Zargon, who's like the proper ringleader of all that, the evil.
Because you meet him with inside that building, don't you?
Yeah.
With what's his name again? The guy along here.
Salvano.
Yeah, Salvano. He goes, I want things to run smoothly. Yeah. And then he walks off with his two other friends. Yeah. That's Zargon, isn't it?
Zargon, yeah.
Because he's a powerful businessman.
Well, he's ex-CIA.
Yeah.
And they're planning something as well. And then what was also interesting, Zargon, he was like a really evil character. He was. Even the look of his face shows it.
His eyes. It was his eyes. How psychotic he was.
Henry, he's still acting now till today. Henry Silva, yeah.
What, the guy that plays Zargon?
Yeah, he's still pretty much acting, but he's like, I think he's probably retired. I'm not sure.
And what is he?
Quite old. He's like quite old, older than Seagal.
Yeah, because he was pretty old in that film. And that came out in 86?
Yeah. No, 86. 88.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
It was, yeah. Savano was like definitely the funniest guy ever. He like, for a mafia boss, he just looked so funny to me.
He was a small guy.
Small guy, big the big mullet. One of my favourite scenes in this, I'll tell you this funny story. I borrowed this movie to a friend of mine a very, very long time ago. And because he always wanted to see a Seagal movie. So I thought, okay, borrow this, the old VHS that we would have. This was like a very, very long time ago.
Yeah, it's go through VHS.
Yeah. And because this was way before DVDs came out. And then...
I remember when they first came out.
I remember when they first came out. And he basically said, I showed him the movie. I said, what did you like about the movie? He goes, I like the way that guy fights, Steven Seagal. I said, all right. Well, I said, you know what one of my favourite funny scenes was? You know when he's on top of the car and he just breaks the window?
Oh, and he starts strangling him.
He's choking him with one hand. And he's like, stop that guy. And I could not stop laughing. It's just his acting in that was just next level.
I love it how he just drags him out the window.
With one arm.
Yeah.
Just drags him out of the wall.
He stops the car and it's like, gets him out.
Yeah.
And just plants his feet on the floor and you think...
That's it. You guys are done for. You guys are done for. And apparently when Daniel Feldano auditioned for this role, Andrew Davis thought he's too small to intimidate Steven Seagal, which is quite obvious. Oh, yeah. So Seagal suggested that he scare him. So what he tried to do was break a chair over Seagal's back, and he got the part. That was it.
You just need to break a chair over
Seagal. He tried to break a chair over Steven Seagal's back, and he goes, because of that, okay, you got the part.
Was this not planned, or was this like just to shock him?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very brave of him, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
I think it was like, yeah, you need to hurt Seagal, you need to scare him. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm afraid to get on the wrong side of him.
Oh yeah, because no one, like I said, had seen anybody like that. If you put Seagal in an extra movie, as you mentioned. Like if you put him as an extra,
yeah, he would just stand out.
He'll still stand out even over the star himself.
He'd be like, okay, who's that guy? No, he's not the star of the show. This guy is. Yeah, but I'm looking at that guy.
Back there, the tall dude.
The guy 10 miles away. I can see. I can see him.
Yeah, 6'4". Yeah. So a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. So Seagal choreographed the entire movie.
The entire movie.
He choreographed all the Aikido moves. Well, of course, yeah. And then also, yeah. So he choreographed that. And did you know he actually got hurt himself on set once? So you know in the scene where
how did he get hurt?
Well,
nothing hurts me.
That's true.
That's what you say.
Nothing hurts me.
Yeah.
And then what happened was when Seagal, when Henry Silva, you know the scene where they've caught Nico, and they're torturing him a little bit with the chemical interrogation, and Henry Silva accidentally broke Steven Seagal's nose. Yeah.
Ooh.
In the final fight scene, and he was rushed to the hospital. But the next day, Seagal was back on set. He goes, he stayed up all night putting ice on his nose so he wouldn't get a black eye.
I'd be scared to confront him if I broke his nose. Like you've got to do that scene again with Seagal.
No thanks. Once was enough.
No. You no.
Yeah,
he's going to break my nose. I'm not.
You're not just going to break your nose. You're going to break everything else in your body.
Yeah, it's like doing a dirty challenge on somebody like Roy Keane.
Yeah. No chance.
Can I get subbed off, please? Why?
Or try and do...
Just angered the wrong... Or Vinnie Jones.
Oh. Vinnie Jones is lethal evils.
You break Steven Seagal's nose in the film. Oh, yeah. I think I'd resign from my post.
I think anyone would, yeah.
I quit. Look, he's coming back tomorrow. I don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah, definitely. And then you also had... So that was one thing that happened to Seagal behind the set as well, and that was one of the scenes that happened. And also, did you know Henry Silva played the bad guy again in Andrew Davis's other movie, Code of Silence, with Chuck Norris. He tries to threaten Chuck Norris in that movie as well, and he goes, "I'm going to do this to you," and Chuck Norris just stands there and goes, "Why don't you just try it now while you got the chance?" That's it. Norris isn't the type of guy you want to get on the wrong end with. Karate champion and everything.
No. He's he'd kill you.
Yeah, and also the scene where Nico's in the bar. Did you know most of those actors in there were actually his own students? That's why they were able to take the attacks very well, and they knew how to land when the throws were given on them and everything. Yeah, most of them were his own students.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's just, I mean, it was just he was kind of, well, he wasn't lucky.
Yeah,
he was just in the right place at the right time.
He was, and definitely, and a lot of the other people in that movie as well, Chuck Norris was actually offered this role himself because he worked with that director previously, but he was tied up with another studio. He was contracted with them and said, "We can't let you leave the contract. You signed it, so you have to."
Yeah, you can't be in other film companies' films, production companies' films when you'll get sued.
Of course you would. So, what was one of your favourite scenes in the movie? We'll move on to that now.
Like, it's got to be the foot race scene where he's chasing that guy through the streets.
Yeah.
And then he kicks his ass, and then the big guy comes up to him and goes, "Hey, when you messing with my friends, huh?" And then he's like, "Look, man, I'm not in the mood." Shoves him, and then Nico just looks behind him and just goes, and then just strikes him right in the chest. The guy just falls flat down on his back, and then he walks off, and the two black fellas just go, "Hey man," I say, "Hey man, that's great, man. Yeah, what's happening, bro?" Again, Steve's like, "Yeah, what's happening, bro?" Yeah, and just walks in between the two and just walks off with that real cocky, arrogant walk that he's got. Yeah, just like, look, man, I'm not in the mood.
Definitely,
yeah.
And then
and the bar fight scene.
That was one of the best.
Takes them all out. Yeah.
I like that other line he says to that guy when he chases him down, and he goes, "Why'd you do this for? It was for fun." And he goes, Who sent you? And he goes, "Oh, it was this guy, Jimmy Costanza." He goes, "Jimmy Costanza." I found out you're lying to me, I'll come back and kill you in your own kitchen. That was a good threat. And then when he's walking up, he goes, no, it was Solvana. He goes, okay, now I got the idea. Because the guy's threatened us, he just threatened big time as well. I mean, one thing I really loved was the opening sequence of the movie where you got to see the demonstration of Aikido.
Yeah.
And I've said that quite a lot in this because if you look at this movie, it's quite unique in its way. It showcases something to the world nobody had ever seen before. Not only did it showcase, you got fan mail coming through, bro.
No, it's just my low on battery. My laptop is dying.
Fair enough. And because like I said, this movie introduced Aikido. It introduced Steven Seagal. It introduced a whole new genre of action heroes that nobody had ever seen before. And like I said, it stands out very uniquely.
Yeah, I can see that. He brings something else to the table. He brings, this. You know when you watch action films and you know when they're angry, you're just like, yeah, he's angry, he's going to kick his ass, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. But Steven Seagal is just like, yeah, I'm just calm. I'm just calm. You can't tell that I'm angry.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
voice is like, I'm angry. Really? Yeah, I'm angry. You sure? Yeah. And then he gets hold of you and just beats the living sense out of you. Like, okay, you are angry. You can't really sense that he's angry.
No, you can't.
But with Sylvester Stallone, you know he's angry.
Clint Eastwood, even.
You know he's angry.
Yeah.
Arnold, you know, you know he's angry.
Yeah, exactly. And
but with him, you never knew he was angry until he got hold of the guy.
until he just chops you right there and all goes like that to you, or
breaks
hits
your
you
face.
like that. Yeah, or breaks every bone in your body, or rips your arm off and uses it to beat you to death with.
Oh
Knowing
God!
Steven Seagal, he could do that to you.
That was a painful picture. Oh.
Right, favorite quote. We'll do one favorite quote each.
Favorite quote. Oh man, you go first.
Okay, I like the line where he goes, "You think you're above the law, you ain't above mine."
Okay. Mine is mine's got to be from my favourite scene. It's like, look man, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood.
And then boom,
the bang just takes him out. I mean, I know it's not the greatest quote, but it's just what it leads to. Just that one punch.
That one punch,
and then he just
levels it up. which was quite, like I said, it's what, like I said, that's why this movie stands out quite well.
It's such a funny moment.
It definitely was. So on a scale of 1 to 10, score time.
5.
I'd give it a 7 because I like I said, it's Aikido, it's Steven Seagal, and you know it's good to see something different being brought to the screen for a change. So yeah,
that's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all the time we have for today in today's podcast. Again, always, Aidan, it's a pleasure always to work with you, bro.
Always.
Appreciate that. And do tune in for our next podcast as well. Again, we're going to conclude our Back to the Future trilogy, and we're going to jump into another martial arts movie that showcased this other actor to the world as well. And then we're going to be moving on to another trilogy. And can you just give a tad little hint about what that trilogy may be? Or should we wait after Back to the Future 3?
I think it'll be too easy.
Yeah.
They'll understand it very quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's leave it until
next
because they'll know it. They'll know it. We'll
leave it till the next one.
But it's the 5 years old. Then they won't really.
No, they wouldn't, definitely not. But okay, so Aidan, again, thanks, and please don't forget to follow us on all social media formats, and please give this podcast a thumbs up, and please click subscribe, turn on notifications, because we have some more videos coming your way.
Fantastic.
Thank you, and also remember, the AAT'S rocked.
They do rock.
What this guy agreed with.
What this guy says.
Till next time, everybody.